Rauscher here. Today we're going to be talking about Stony Hill Nugget number 246. It's titled, If You Are Fearful of a Might Happen, Then You're Probably Being Manipulated. There's a lot of good stuff in this article. I'll try to hit a few of the bigger concepts here. Concept number one, key idea number one, is fear shuts down our rational mind. Now, our country is pretty much awash in fear right now. Fear just about everything. If you watch the news or read emails, I mean, somebody's telling you about something you should be fearful of. Remember, fear shuts down our ability to be rational, and most importantly, it radically increases our ability to be manipulated. And we'll look at why a little bit more in a minute. But basically recognize that when someone is promoting fear, especially fear of a might happen, okay, probability extremely low, in parenthesis in other words, then you can pretty well guarantee that you're being manipulated. The question, of course, immediately to ask is why? And we'll take a look at that in a minute. Second big idea on fear is that fear of other and what might happen, okay, seems to be pandemic in our culture today. We're focused on terrorists, we're focused on, you name it, anything that could possibly go wrong. The important point in this article is to always ask yourself this question, and it's the most important question you will ever ask as a person, okay? What's in it for them? So when someone is working hard to make you fearful and telling you that we should build walls and we should bomb people and blah, 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 okay? What's in it for them? Always ask that question, because the moment you can answer that question, even if it's not accurate, at least think about it, because the moment you can answer that question, then you can't be manipulated quite as easily, okay? In other words, you're back in charge of your own rational mind, and you think about what they're saying and why they're saying it. Okay, key concept number three, fear shuts down our values, the values of tolerance for others, diversity, the fact that we are an extremely diverse nation. In fact, we're a very diverse global human culture, and inclusion. And what I mean by that is we shut down community. We're afraid of our neighbor, okay? When we do that, we pull in and we shrink our world down to very small, okay? And when we do that, we've lost all the benefit of community, of sharing with one another. Fear is something that we need to be very careful of, especially this fear of other, okay? Fear, key point number four, the moment we give in to fear, in other words, we shut down our rational mind and we begin to operate out of this feeling that something awful is going to happen, okay? Then all of our energy goes both physical and mental. In other words, every bit of our energy is automatically shifted over to survival. I mean, think about it. If you're being attacked by a tiger, right? What are you going to do? Stop and think rationally about what you might do or what your options are? Of course not. You're going to immediately, physically and mentally go into survival mode, okay? And that's what fear is designed to do. That's how, if they can get you into that mode, then they can begin to manipulate. So the question always is, when you're feeling the fear, and there's nothing wrong with feeling it, the important thing is don't give in to it. Because if you do, then physically and mentally you're moving into survival. You shut down the question, what's in it for them? And most importantly, you open up the ability for them to manipulate you. And I think there is a lot of manipulation going on right now in our world. And the only way we can do it is to wake up to these realities around fear. Okay, final key point, and this is the big one. What's the real enemy in fear? What should we really be fearful of? Because it's not other. Not really, if you look statistically, the number of people killed by guns or in automobiles or whatever, the number of people killed by terrorists is almost negligible, okay? The real enemy that we have to watch out for, because we see it every place. We see it in guns, we see it in all sorts of aspects of our culture. We see it in anti-Muslim rhetoric, and that is ideological extremism. The minute you hear people putting out ideologically extreme points of view, and they put it out as absolute truth, in other words, they use the imperative voice of absolute truth, this is real, this is what's going to happen, blah, blah, blah. These are people who know how the world should be, and they're not going to be happy until you and I agree with all of their ideological extremism, all of the things that they claim are absolute truth and how the world should be. They're not going to be happy until you and I buy into that message. Now we're back into what's in it for them, and are we being manipulated? Well, of course we are. So the real enemy is black and white extremism, because it always breeds terrorism. The minute you get a rigid belief system and you're putting it out as absolute truth, and that's your ideology, then anyone who disagrees with you is the enemy, right? And immediately we turn all of others into enemies. Well, that's what these people are doing. They're using ideological extremism, and of course everybody's going to be another, because nobody's going to basically agree with them, okay? So just understand what's happening. These are the key points in the article. Remember the big one. Real enemy is ideological extremism. Whenever you see or hear that, beware, because you are being manipulated. You can almost take it to the bank. Okay? Good article. There's a lot more in it. There's a lot of depth. So I encourage you to read the article. And if the article and this video are helpful, please consider forwarding them on to friends. Okay? And thank you, if you do, for supporting the work we do here at Stony Hill, both the writing and the videos that we offer free of charge.